When you're a happy person, you're a magnetic person. And when you're a magnetic person, you get whatever you want all the time. I get whatever I want all the time, and I'm going to help you do the exact same thing. Welcome back to the It Girl Playbook, and in this episode, we're breaking down the very formula that has transformed my life. How happiness creates patience, how patience creates power, and how that power makes you magnetic to everything you want. This is also partly for myself for those moments I need a reminder or when I slip back into old habits, because today we're exploring how to become so calm, so regulated that reality literally starts bending in your favor. That being said, let's get right into it, starting with the emotional science. There are two ways to move through life, and I've lived both of them. The first is chaotic. I used to be incredibly impatient, anxious, and everything felt so chaotic. It's like those mornings where you are in a rush and nothing ever works out. You can't find your keys, you accidentally knock over your coffee, and when you finally make it out of the house, you suddenly hit every red light. It's always when you're in a rush that the world feels like it's rushing against you. If we break down impatience, it's rooted in fear. Fear that you're behind, fear that you're running out of time, fear that things won't work out unless you force them. And when you're in that state, reality literally reflects that chaos right back to you. The second way is calm, which goes hand in hand in being magnetic, because when you're happy, you're patient, and when you're patient, it's because you're expectant. You move through life calmly because you know good things are coming, and they do. It's like those days where you find the perfect parking spot, there's no wait in line, and you get that email saying that you got accepted into the job, the university, or the program that you really wanted to join. Things work out for you. You're relaxed, you're calm, and you're allowing things to unfold in your favor. And because you're not fighting reality, reality doesn't fight back. In other words, your emotional state can literally shift your reality. If we want to really get into it, there's something called the Reticular Activating System, and it's the filter in your brain that decides what to pay attention to, because every day there's so much going on around us. We cannot comprehend everything until we comprehend what reaffirms our beliefs. This is also known as the confirmation bias. When you expect good things, your brain highlights opportunities, open doors, green lights. When you expect struggle, it shows you obstacles, closed doors, red lights. Same reality, completely different experience. And this is the part that people call luck. But it's not luck, it's simply alignment. It's confirmation bias working in your favor, and it reframes luck simply as a byproduct of staying emotionally steady. Which leads us into the second point. Being happy makes you patient. Since I've become happy, I've become extremely patient because I know that good things are coming my way. When you're happy, you assume things will work out, and so you stop sprinting through life and you stop rushing to force things. Because if one thing doesn't work out, it's simply making room for something better. And as a result, you can relax, and the irony is that the more you relax, the more things work in your favor. You're calm enough to notice solutions, to stay open to opportunities, and to see all the good things lining up. And so I'm not lucky, I'm just expectant. I expect good things to happen to me because I think that I deserve them, which makes me genuinely happy, and happy creates patience because it makes you more tolerant of waiting. And patience puts you in the right place at the right time every single time. But when you're impatient, you're not tolerant of waiting, and so you make quick decisions. You choose the first option, not the best one. You grab whatever's available instead of waiting for what aligns. You settle and you force outcomes that maybe were never meant for you. Patient opens doors for you, but sometimes not in the way that you think. Sometimes it means knocking and waiting for that door to open, but when you're impatient, you lack that tolerance of waiting. Let's take a parking spot, for example. You're driving through that crowded parking lot looking for a good spot. There are no spots open except for the ones that are all the way in the back of the parking lot, far away from the shop that you want to go to. But whatever, you don't want to wait, and so you just park there and you walk up to the store only to find a car pulling out of a spot that is right in front of the store. You were in the same parking lot and you even passed by that very spot, but because you didn't want to wait, you missed out on the opportunity. Being patient meant that you wouldn't settle for those parking spots all the way in the back of the parking lot. You'd wait for those spots in front of the store that you want to go to and wait for maybe a few minutes. And because you were patient, that parking spot is now yours. And the same principle applies to all the different kinds of opportunities in life. You don't settle for lowball offers because you know that there are better opportunities out there. And as a result, you get those better opportunities. When you're patient, you notice better timing. You let opportunities reveal themselves instead of trying to manufacture them. You have clear instincts. And most importantly, you stay aligned with what you actually want, not just what's immediately available. And this is why happiness matters. It's not just a feeling, it's a state that allows you to receive better, because being happy makes you tolerant of waiting. A happy, regulated person can wait, and because they can wait, they end up choosing better, attracting better, and getting better, which leads us to our final section, the upward spiral. If happiness creates patience and patience creates magnetism, then the question is, how do you become happier and more patient? These are 2 tips that you can do now that I've also been consistently practicing into my own life that has made a massive difference. Tip number 1, gratitude to become more happy. Work on being grateful. The more you focus on the things that you have rather than the things that you don't have, you begin to realize how blessed you are and how abundant life can be. To have a roof over your head, to have your health, to be smart, to have goals, and to have friends who care about you. Sometimes it's hard because life can feel overwhelming and it feels like you have a lot on your plate, but it reminded me of this quote that really changed my perspective of things. And it basically asks how you can complain about having too much on your plate when your goal was to eat. Because remember back to those days when you were in your room begging and praying for a chance, for an opportunity, and now here it is. And this literally rewires to see how blessed you are to be able to struggle for something that you had once prayed so hard for. And so by staying grateful, it rewires your baseline emotional state, because when you're actively looking for all the good that is in your life, your brain starts defaulting to happiness and feeling grateful instead of feeling anxious. And tip number 2 is slowing down to become more patient. This has been the most transformative for me. And I'm not talking about slowing down your movements and your hand gestures to appear more elegant, which of course can help, but I'm talking about eating slower, drinking your water slower. Don't rush through your morning routines, and instead of sprinting on the treadmill, go out for a walk. Speed can be an incredibly powerful skill in so many different areas of life, but if you're constantly anxious, it's because speed sometimes equates to anxiety. But physically slowing down, not just your mind, but your entire physical self, you get to physically become more calm because you signal to yourself that you have plenty of time and that good things aren't going anywhere. Just do these 2 simple things for a week and watch what happens. You will literally begin to notice how your life will begin to spiral upwards. If getting what you want makes you lucky, then this episode will help you create your own luck. But more honestly, this is how you can become a more magnetic person, someone who gets whatever they want, not just sometimes, but consistently. You deserve good things, and when you genuinely believe that yourself, when you're happy, when you're patient, and when you're expectant, they will show up for you. Come back in a week and share your results. Who knows, maybe you will inspire one more person. That's it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out the It Girl newsletter for episode recaps, to join in on the conversation, and to help decide on what to explore next. I hope to see you in our next episode, and in the meantime, as always, stay hot. Bye!